Hey guys, in today's video, we are going to be talking about spins. Now, spins are a really great way to exercise both sides of your dog's body, kind of isolate one side if we're turning one way, isolate the other side if we're turning the other. So I really love doing spins for a number of reasons. And, the first one is that fitness component, strengthening both sides of their body. It's really working on the different parts of their core. But it's also just a different, fun way to work on to work on anything, random things, tricks, just variety, adding variety, yes, into their life. It's just a really, really fun thing to do, and especially when you start towards the end of the video, we will work on doing spins around objects. And when you're able to do some type of spin or almost wrap around objects, then it's a lot more fun and versatile with your dog for sure. So the first thing I want to do with Mufasa is I'm going to show you how to teach your dog how to follow a hand lure. While I've been talking, I've just been working on that automatic leave it with him, which clearly with higher value treats is something we need to work on more often, huh, bud? Yes. So with practicing luring, I want my dog's nose on my hand. Get it? On my hand the entire time. Even when I switch, I'm getting all slobbery, all the things. And I want him as much as possible on my hand. Now with some of my dogs, I'm sorry guys, these treats are massive and I don't want to make you too full. Now with some of your dogs, some of my dogs even, they get real bitey with this. So they start nipping my hands or they start just using their teeth a lot with this. So one of the things that I did to kind of prevent that is I would drop the treat. When they would follow my hand and they would not bite me. So there's two criteria. He's following my hand, but he's also not putting his teeth on me. I'm going to drop the treat. And I just open my hand and let it fall. If it doesn't fall because my hand is so slobbery and it just sticks, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, I dropped that. That's my bad. That's what we're working on next week. That's going to be a different video, huh? All this automatic leave it stuff. We're going to top up. It's been a while since I've worked on it with you guys. All right. So there's some more. Another alternative is that you can wear gloves, especially if you're someone who is sensitive to like saliva or sticky kind of slimy things on your hands. Gloves would be the way to go for sure. Now, while I'm doing this, also take note of the size of your dog. So again, I picked Mufasa very intentionally for this because of his size. And number one, with his size, he is very easy to move around in a chair. With my German Shepherd playing this game, I can do it. It's just very difficult sitting down simply because of his size. So this is a game that I would play standing up with my German Shepherd. But if you have a medium to small dog, this is perfect. This is wonderful to do sitting down. And the other reason was because I knew he wouldn't bite my fingers, which is something that I really, really enjoy, huh, bud? All right. Let's do a little bit more. And also notice as I'm moving him back and forth, I'm switching between my hands, but I'm also turning him in different ways. So I'm not always turning him towards me to get the piece of food or to follow my hand. Sometimes I'm also turning him away from me. A lot of times dogs will prefer, just like us, our dogs can be right-handed or left-handed. And so I'm like, for example, I'm left-handed. So my left side is typically stronger than my right side just because I'm left-hand dominant. Our dogs can be the exact same. And so with one side of their body, they will have more trouble with than the other side. Excuse you. That was a big burp. Yeah. All right, so that's step number 1. Let's get on to step number 2. Once our dogs are really comfortably following a hand lure, then we're going to start working on the spins themselves. So using our lure, we're going to have food in both hands again, and we are simply going to lure our dog into a circle. Now, one thing I really want to caution you against, and I can do this with Atlas because I know Atlas. I cannot do this with my other dogs for probably the same reason. We cannot, and we do not want our spin to be an endless spin of just, is that even your good side? There you go. We do not want that. There you go. That was a good one, bud. We do not want an endless spin around and around and around and around. We want our dogs to be able to take a break in between each spin. So we are going to be luring rather slowly. Come here. There you go. And in a circle. And once we get back to, let's say, point A, which is where we started, then we're going to stop and we're going to reward. So again, in the circle, stop, reward. The other option to do this, and I would personally do this if you have a higher energy dog, is lure in a circle, got to point A, and then throw the treat in the continued circle. So for this one, I'm going counterclockwise, and I'm going to throw it to my right, as if I were to continue going counterclockwise. Now the same goes for my left. Throw to the left. Spin clockwise, left. You can mark this, yes, with your yes, and then throw. But if you got enough going on and it's too hard to concentrate, don't worry about it. Treats are sticking to my hands. So, doesn't matter what side. I will say, one thing that really, really helps me is using different hands for the different directions of the spins. So let me break up this treat. With clockwise spins, there we go. I'm going to be using my right hand and luring him across my body, and then as I'm coming down to the end, it's closer to my body. And then with counterclockwise, I will be using my left hand, and same thing. Some dogs get this very quickly. Some dogs do not. So just go at your dog's pace and and also take care to notice that a lot of dogs, when they get to this point, the point that's furthest away, a lot of dogs will shy away from the lure. So a lot of dogs don't like having, this is going to be so hard to show you because he's so fast, but a lot of dogs don't like having this, where, right here, where their body is fully turned away from you and your arm is over them. And that comes down to, it's a confidence thing. A lot of dogs aren't confident enough to have something over their back or over their head or anything like that. Sorry, bud. Good. So that's where games like Cardboard Chaos, Noise Box, or even doing a tunnel is really, really helpful to boost their confidence. But you can also just practice luring in ways that your arm ends up kind of over their body. So, spin, throw out. The next step in teaching our spins, which is also going to help with our wrapping, is having a pole. Now, I'll show you this with a trash can as well, in case you don't just have a pole. But this could easily be like a basement pole or whatever you can find. If you have like a support beam or something like that, that's decently small. depending on the location of your water heater, I'm just staring at mine. That would be a good thing to use too. You could use a chair. You can use a variety of different things, but I have a pole, so that's what I'm going to use to show you this at first. Now, if you've played the veto games, then your dog is mostly accustomed to this. Around. Let's see if he even knows. Yeah. So he's got no idea, which is perfect for you guys. So I'm going to lure him, yes, just around the pole. And now he thinks about the veto games. So again, I'm going to lure him around the pole. Let's go the other way. There we go. Yeah, good boy. And the exact same. I am rewarding in the same direction as I was before. There we go. Now he remembers the veto games. It's been a long time since I've done that as well. Been working on a lot of obedience with them, so apparently everything else has kind of gone to the wayside. Right. There you go. And if your dog does something like that too, where instead of following the lure, they end up just cutting back across because they know your hand's going to be there, totally fine. Just reposition the lure and try again. Let's do the other way. And because he is a smaller dog, I'm able to bring this closer to me so that I am able to be seated. Again, with a bigger dog, I'm not sure I would be able to be fully seated with that. Sorry, bud, I'm trying to break these. Okay. There we go. Right, and one more. Good. All right, so I have brought out a trash can so that I can show you. It is pretty decently far away from me just because I know the size of Apollo, and I want to make sure he can come through easily between me and the trash can. I'm going to try to do this seated, but we'll see kind of what happens. We might be doing some troubleshooting as I'm teaching you guys. So, off the top of my head, one of the things that we can actually do to start getting a type of spin, more of a wrap around the trash can, aside from playing the veto games, is we're going to bring this trash can closer to us. And it can be as close as like touching us. It does not have to be anything. It does not have to be far. Our dog is not going to be walking between us. So, like with the very first steps of the veto games, we're just going to be going from side to side, basically. But it's going to stay in our hands. So we're going to treat from our hands. Yes. And it's okay if we lure or bait the sides. Totally fine. Good. Nice. And when our dogs are pretty reliably doing that, we can start. I know that was scary. This is different. We've never done this before. Yeah, good boy. He already knows. He is already remembering the veto games. So if you haven't played those, for sure, go and play those before you do at least this one. So now that we have this, I am going to have to stand to lure him and then throw it out. Just the exact same. As he comes back. There you go. Good boy. I just did this side. Sorry, bud. One easy thing to remember as you're throwing it out is when they're coming back in, oops, sorry, bud. That's an indicator for how they should end up turning. All right, you're this way. That's fine. Apollo is one who, if he gets super, super excited, he will also bite my hands. Good boy. I guess that wasn't a great correction. That's okay. We're figuring it out, bud. So I'm going to throw this out, and I want him to... Okay, so instead of correcting him and asking him to come back, okay, we're going to redo this circle. Instead, which I'm going to throw that out for you, instead, I'm going to just continue on with this circle. And what I noticed, is my hand position when I'm getting ready for the lure. So by the time, so he's coming this way, so I want him to come here. And typically, I'm noticing just with myself, when I do this, is I am ahead of the lure. So I'm going too fast, basically. I'm moving my hands too fast. And he's trying to find a shortcut to meet up with my hands. That's totally fine. That's what dogs do. They find the fastest way to the treat as possible. So I just need to slow myself down to make sure he does exactly what I want him to do. So let's throw that out. So I'm going to start with an exaggerated. There we go. And for the last one, got a big one. There we go. If you have a dog who pulls on leash, barks at the end of the leash, lunges at other dogs, other people, or has horrible household manners where they jump on people, they steal your food, or they just bark out the window or anything like that, I have an online course that works on these struggles specifically. They all boil down to just a handful of things: a lack of calmness, a lack of confidence, and a lack of proximity, which is just value of being close to you. And through no fault of your own, so many people have struggled with these things. I mean, even I did with my oldest dog. So what I did was, number one, I figured out how to fix this in the shortest and most fun way possible for your dogs. And number two, I created a course so that I can help other owners who have these struggles fix that. I have the link in the description below, but if you also have any questions about it, then comment down below and I will be more than happy to answer any questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I thank you so much for dealing with or hanging with me while I try to break apart these awfully strong treats. I will definitely have cuts on my hands after this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope your dogs enjoy this as much as mine did. Yeah, I think like, comment, all that fun stuff. Have a great day, guys. Keep on training.